Be the New You, Part 6, Attitude and Motivation. Hello and welcome to the last session of this series, Part 6, The New You, Strategies and Recipes for a Complete Makeover. Hi, I'm Selina Stone, a Master Life Coach and Casting Director, here to guide you through this series. Now you can download a written version of this course at selinastone.com under the heading e-courses. Let's get back to today, Attitude and Motivation. It is said that we are limited more by our attitude than by our opportunities. However crude that may sound, it is a fact none of us can deny. Your attitude and approach are the determining factors in how close you get to your goals. You are what you are and where you are today because of your thought process, which has moulded your mindset and led you to make the choices that brought you here. Your mental attitude can travel in two directions. It can lead you up the path of success or to the road of failure. The choice is entirely yours. Now that you are almost at the culmination of this ebook, reflect on the choice you ought to make. We will take you through the realms of positive thinking and an optimistic thought process. Throughout this topic, we will explore and acquire the correct mental attitude. A little thing makes a big difference. We also talk about motivation, the activity that kickstarts you into action. Well, let's get started then. Optimism, your triumph card, your trump card. Picture a footballer taking a penalty. What do you reckon is going through his mind? Score a goal? Or that the goalkeeper would save it? Or that the ball will end up in row Z of the stand? What do you think when taking a penalty? Goal or miss? Do you know all the thoughts going through his mind would not just affect but determine whether he will actually score a goal or not? Let's take another example. Think of a lady who has just failed her driving test. What do you think she's thinking? Filled with confidence that she will get through next time? Or do you think she will not even bother and give up? Or maybe she will have to be content with public transport? There is a thumb rule with regards to your thinking in everything that you do. Think positively and you will end up with positive results. Think negatively and you will end up with negative results. It really is as simple as that. Stop asking why and ask why not, and see the change in your attitude and outlook yourself. Let's do an exercise that will distinctly put forth the case for optimism. It will help you understand the thoughts of the positive and negative people around you. Think of the people that surround you and with whom you interact with often. Now, segregate and list them down into the ones that you think are positive and the ones that you think are negative thinkers. View the example on your worksheet for this course. Now, list down all the positive words you can relate to these people. Things like, what would they say about certain situations? How would they react? Next, make another list using the same people you listed above, but now segregate them as the ones you think are successful in their lives and the ones who are not. Once again, please refer to your worksheet and fill in the list. Can you make the distinctions? If you compare both of your above lists, you can clearly see that the ones you have listed out as the most successful are the ones who are the most positive. Confidence and optimism walk together. People who possess these qualities usually succeed in their endeavours. Positive thoughts release positive energy, which help build the attitude to success. Pessimists, on the other hand, expect to fail, even before starting, and rant and rib on a lot. The negative thoughts creates in your negative energies, which builds the attitude of a loser. The one thing that can bring success or failure in our lives is our attitude. Let's take a hypothetical situation. Jake and Ted have come for a job interview. They're sitting and waiting for their turn in the reception of the firm they've always dreamt to be a part of. So, what is going through their minds as you sit waiting to be called out. Ted is a negative-minded person. He's psyched out and getting more and more nervous all the time. He's already anticipating the rejection that he is sure would be the outcome. He thinks the 10 other people sitting there are more likely to get the job than he is. However, Jake is a person with a positive approach to things. He is gearing himself up and thinking of all his strengths and competence. He is thinking that he will have to impress the interview board that he is the best person for the job. Ask yourself, who would look the better candidate while the interview is going on? Ted or Jake? Or rather, which person do you think stands more of a chance of getting the job? The probability that Jake gets the job is significantly higher. A person brimming with positive energy is more focused, more alert, and more in step with situations around him or her. His or her senses are not clouded by doubts and anxiety. Therefore, he or she can better perceive their circumstances and make the best of it. And all these come out, people cannot help but notice. A positive mind attracts opportunities for success, while a negative mind repels them. Remember that. Optimism means expecting the best, but confidence means knowing how to handle the worst. Here's a short case study. Let's look at this case study to better understand how changing your attitude can affect your success or failure. Tom Lake is a 40-year-old proprietor of a store with outlets in 5 cities. Some 20 years back, he was unemployed, no job, no money, and a ballooning waistline to top it all. Whatever he tried, he failed. He tried to work as a sales representative for a cosmetics firm, but the company had shut down within 4 months. He tried his hand at being an insurance agent, but he lost his job within 3 months because his boss did not like him at all. He then worked at a garment store, but somehow that too did not work out. They were cutting down on staff, and the new recruits were the first to go. For 2 months he was unemployed and going towards being flat broke. At this time, Tom went through a very bad phase. He was beginning to lose hope, the only flicker of positivity he had in his life. And then he was struck with revelations. He could clearly see nothing was happening, and he was destined to be like this. Maybe there was something wrong with him. He had turned into a self-induced loser. One day, he came across this line whilst absent-mindedly going looking through a book sitting at home. I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Thomas Alva Edison. He'd been staring at the page for some time, not actually reading it, but somehow it struck him. The book was about the famous leaders and achievers of all centuries. He found that most of them had gone through really tough times, and somewhere it was mentioned that to be famous you needed to be miserable once. It was a moment of an epiphany for Tom. He realised that to fulfil his aspirations he needs to fight for each of them with all that he's got, and feeling like a loser never helps. He sat down and made a list of options available to him. He told himself that whatever else he might turn out to be, but he would not be a grouch, that as long as he was alive he will respect himself. He changed his attitude, and it changed his life. Not overnight, not in a month, but slowly. Life is all about choices. When you look through the clutter and fabrication, you will see that every situation is a choice, and it's up to you how you choose to react to them. It's not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it's because we do not dare that they are difficult. Picture this. You've joined a short course to enhance your management skills. Now there are people from all walks of life attending this kind of thing. Who would you be more drawn to, and maybe take the initiative to talk to in the break? The person who seemed ready to take anything on, the one who wanted to lead, who communicated confidently, or the miserable-looking person who seemed to make effort to minimise himself or herself, shuffling his or her feet and communicating feebly? You might say, it would depend on how I'm feeling at that time. If you are confident of yourself, you would most probably shake hands with the confident guy. If you're feeling less confident, then you should determine to gain it. Think this way. There's someone there who's even worse off than you. Yes, It is small consolation there, but something to start with. Remember the story about the man who was sad and angry because he had no shoes, only to walk around the corner to find a man who had no feet. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, your mind can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Your capacity to believe is your greatest potential asset. But you cannot draw upon it or benefit from it until you have formed the habit of keeping your attitude positive. Now that we're on the same page about the relativity of positive attitude and success, the next obvious question is, are you one of those people? If you were to take a penalty or go in for a job interview, what would be going through your mind? Positive thoughts or negative ones? It doesn't matter what your mindset is at present, there are ways and means to inculcate more positive habits and traits. And that's exactly what we're going to tell you here. We're going to share with you tried and tested techniques that will enable you to form and sustain a positive mental attitude. Here are some of these golden words that you can put right into action and be the change you want to see. So, how do we form and keep a positive mental attitude? Like Confucius beautifully put it is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. Life is tough. You have to expect for the best, but also prepare for the worst. It is very essential to maintain a positive mental attitude to prepare yourself for the downturns, because there are going to be many. Remember, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it that really counts. Incorporating a why nots and shunning away the whys is the key to think positively. Remember, positive people are solution orientated and look for the good in every situation, whereas negative minded people believe that problems and obstacles cannot be surpassed. All it takes is a smile. Take a look at the list that you wrote on the previous page. Now look at the positive people on that list. One thing in common that these people will all share is that they are all probably smile a lot and are happier than their negative counterparts. We don't have scientific research supporting it, but then no one can deny the charm and power associated with a smile. This really works. Start smiling more often and see how things look more beautiful and vibrant to you. Now, that doesn't mean you have to walk around with a silly grin on your face all of the time, but smile as you walk down the street, when you talk to someone, even when you look in the mirror at yourself. You'll be surprised how it changes your perception of your own image, and it projects a positive image to others too. One that will attract opportunities and people. Remember, positive people are happy people and negative people are not. Happy people are also seen as more attractive than unhappy and sad people, so that's an added bonus. Pat people on the back. It's commonly seen that people will tend to ignore your 100 positive deeds and strike and blow out of proportion that one mistake you did incidentally. People can be mean and judgmental, and so crude when it comes to criticising others, and you know, a verbal bashing is more hurtful than a physical one. It takes its toll on you at different levels, demotivating you and filling you with insecurities. To create a positive attitude around you, start by complimenting the people that surround you in daily life. Appreciate them and acknowledge their good deeds, and you will notice the instant gratification it pervades. If your partner buys a new piece of clothing and looks particularly attractive, tell them so. Compliment your staff on their work, that you appreciate their efforts and that they're doing a great job. Compliment your child on making it to the football team. By making others feel good, the feel-good factor pervades into your personal persona too, enhancing you. Positive mental attitude in the process. Something that goes hand in hand with complimenting other people is the way in which we treat others. There is a simple rule to this. Treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. In order to do this, you must treat everyone as though they are the most important person in the world, because to them, they are. However, we're not professing sucking up to people, because that will just leave you shallow. Mean the compliments that you give. it is said that whatever you hand out in life, you get back, but what you get back is 10 times as much. Now, let's be a little selfish here. 10 times is quite a bit. It is said that if a customer gets treated excellent at a company, whether a bank or a store, he or she automatically tells 10 people about it. The same will apply to you. When you exceed the needs of your friends, your boss and your work colleagues, you will find that you'll become more popular, be highly regarded, and your profile will be raised within that particular group. Believe, conceive and achieve. One thing that you must start to do is to act as though success is inevitable. Picture success in your mind at all times and let it penetrate through the subconscious mind. Always focus on the outcome that you want in everything that you do. Remember, what the mind can believe and conceive, it can achieve. You have within you a sleeping giant whom you can direct to perform any service that you desire. The power of your mind and imagination is truly an exceptional and incredible function. You are the ruler of your destiny, of your life. Take control, and you are on your way to success, to happiness, but also to illness and depression. Yes, it sounds too negative, but the human mind is a mystical thing with its own ways of functioning and comprehending situations. Let's go through an incident to reinforce above statements. A middle-aged man was working in a refrigeration unit in America. One day he accidentally locked himself inside one of the units. He banged on the door, he yelled, he screamed, but no one heard him. He panicked and succumbed to his fear and helplessness and led himself to believe that it's time to go. He sat down, his body became numb, and with his fingers he scribbled a message on the wall for those who would eventually find him. It read, "Getting colder now, starting to shiver, nothing to do but wait, slowly freezing to death, half asleep now. These are my final words." 5 hours later they opened the door and found him dead. Now, it's a sad story, but here is the twist. The temperature inside the unit was 56 degrees. The unit had been broken all day. There was plenty of air for him to breathe. There was some 40 to 50% chance that he would have survived. The man simply willed himself to die. No one can deter the power of the mind and the extremities it is capable of. Can you really distinguish between your thoughts and reality? So try not to get into negative mindsets, because your subconscious mind will take it literally, just like we saw in the above example. Rehearsal practice. You've succeeded before you have even begun. Rehearsal practice is an effective technique that will harness the power of your mind and help delve your mind to better use. In the modern world, a number of things are preconditioned. Why not do that to your mind too? This is how it works. There are situations you expect to face and people who you will come across. So plan beforehand how to deal with them. By rehearsing it over in your imagination first, you will feel less anxious. It's as though you're training your subconscious to behave in a certain way to obtain the results that you desire. Let's go back to the job interview example we described earlier. If you go over in your mind what the interview will be like, the questions asked, the possible scenarios that might come up, you will find that no matter what the interviewer throws at Jake, he would be ready to handle it well. You can apply this technique anywhere from going for a driving test to everyday activities like making a presentation. Rehearsal practice is all about visualization and focusing on the desired outcome. You will instantly feel the change that being prepared for bring about. For each of your goals, take 5 minutes out of your day. Close your eyes and picture that the goal is already achieved. Picture what you're doing, how you are living your life now that your goals are achieved. You'll be very excited and happy with the results. But say, for instance, that you start to picture a negative thought in your mind. What should you do then? Well, what you should do is stop yourself immediately and replace the negative thought or picture with a positive one. You must ever picture negative outcomes at any time, for they can direct your actions and have a tendency to come true. Now, that's easier said than done, but whenever you experience a negative thought, ask yourself the following questions. Is this thought really important in the grand scheme of things? What can I change about this thought to turn it into a positive one? Think back through past experiences that have been worse, and let's just put this into perspective. Why did that person say what they said? What was behind it? They probably have the problem, not me. Focus on success and watch as the people, the opportunities and the outcomes go your way. If you want to explore the attributes of winners, you should study the attributes and mannerisms of first-class salespeople. Salesmanship is all about convincing people to buy something they probably don't even need. It's all about how you sell it to them, and it requires a lot of positive manoeuvre. If you look around, you will notice, aren't we all selling ourselves all the time? Selling ourselves to find that recognition and acceptance among the people that matter to us. What do you think we're doing at an interview, during a presentation, communicating an idea, or even when you're on a date? Yes, you're selling yourself. And you must have a positive approach to successfully do so. It is said that attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Many people do not think twice before putting their colleagues and subordinated down to get ahead in the rat race. There's a dearth of the feeling of solidarity today, and opposition and criticism will be constantly put in your face. It's only a positive mental attitude that can come to your rescue and salvage whatever little you have managed with your life. A positive attitude is vital to attain your goals and to grow, develop and progress in life. If you're working hard and getting the success you deserve, people will tend to drag you down. This is where you need to maintain your terror firmly and not succumb to the negative influences of other people. Remember, no one has got it easy. All of the world's most successful people have had setbacks in their quest for success. Picture Richard Branson's lottery bid failure and his hot air balloon crashes. Picture Ian Botham's demise as England cricket captain. Both of these legends, the strength of a positive mental attitude and the skill to adapt and come up. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. The only thing that failure cannot cope with is persistence. Negative-minded people may have given in at that point, but Branson and Botham went on to bigger and better things. It boils down to their positive mental attitude. In Botham's own words, erase failure from your mind and you will be surprised how little you do fail. In summing up, positive mental attitude is a result of a life dedicated to self-improvement. It's a vital key to attain happiness and find contentment and success in all your endeavours. Remember, it will be your attitude that will determine your success. People who are negative never get anywhere, are invariably unsuccessful, and most gruesome of all, unhappy. Scientific research has also reinstated the fact that PMA, positive mental attitude, isn't just a state of mind. It has linkages with the wellness of the mind and the body. Don't allow negativity destroy your dreams. Hope does spring eternal. Throughout this topic, we have discovered the advantages of PMA. Please make sure that you start to implement these techniques straight away. Think positively and the world is your oyster. Think negatively and you're doomed to failure. Decide which one you would prefer. Maximising your potential. Winning is all about being content with your status quo and feeling that you're giving out the best that you have. In earlier topics, we discussed the importance of goal setting and goal attainment, for it's important that you know what you want to do with your life and where you want to go. It's also very vital to know yourself and be in touch with your inner self, the side you don't necessarily reveal to the outside world. This is a real you. Make sure you don't lose yourself in the materialistic overtones of the outside world. Get in touch with your consciousness to know the kind of person you are and intend to become. The way you look and present yourself to the outside world, the clothes you wear, the things you own, how articulate are you, and also your etiquettes and mannerisms. All of these things count and determine the extent of your success. Winners and successful people work to improve many areas of their total presentation. for they understand that it is a vital factor and will enhance what they have already achieved, maximising your potential. Don't misunderstand the direction that self-improvement should come from to be driven by insecurities or feeling of being inadequate. Maximising your potential is all about harnessing and bettering what you already have. It comes from the feeling that you are already a wonderful person and want to improve even further. Your self-image is essential to have a clear picture of how you want the world to see you, and that it's in sync with your true self, the person you personally want to be. How you feel inside reflects outside, so if you are insecure and possess lower self-esteem, it is definitely going to reflect on the outside for the entire world to see. Remember, they're going to judge you on this outer image of yours. Your physical appearance talks a lot about you. If you see a person who looks tired and weary, with hair not done well and tasteless clothes, the word that comes to your mind is dull or uninteresting. Isn't it true? On the contrary, if you see a person who looks calm and alert, with hair done perfectly, elegant clothes, walking in firm strides, the word that comes to your mind will most probably be forceful, smart or elegant. What do you say? How many people have you seen who walk with their head down and back crouched? What do you think this says about their self-esteem? Do you think that they would be able to sell themselves? Not quite that effectively, you'd say. Winners and achievers make their presence felt. They walk tall, with their head held up high. They make heads turn when they enter a room and mesmerise the crowds with their speech. They don't need to demand respect, they command respect. Yes, all of this is achievable. Positive mental thinking clubbed with impeccable self-image and you're on your way to all the glory and glitz. Losers don't think or give appearance their required importance. They want to be accepted as they are. No one can deny the fact that how you carry yourself and look makes a lot of difference in today's world. We're not professing you get plastic surgery done to enhance your self-image. It's all about dressing up elegantly, not expensively. It's about speaking calmly and clearly. It's about holding your head high and keeping your back straight. It's about maintaining a cool demeanour even when things are not going as expected. Your inner confidence and self-esteem will ooze out in the way you dress and present yourself. In order for you to maximise your potential in life, you must be able to put yourself into a position whereby you feel good about yourself. Otherwise, there will always be something that will be holding you back. The effects of low self-esteem. If you do not feel good about yourself, how can you expect others to feel that about you? The feel-good factor. Improvising on your self-image is not all. It's important that you relate to and feel at ease with this change. The feel-good factor is all about feeling content and making it reflect in your behaviour. Now say, for instance, that you're feeling low and the managing director calls you into his or her office. This is your big chance to impress the most important person in the organisation, but you can't do much about your state of mind. You're wearing one of your old shirts and your hair's not done as well as it could be and your face looks weary and tired. You are suffering from a major bout of lack of confidence and the way you appear is not helping the situation at all. It will definitely drag you further down if the meeting doesn't go well. Now picture this scenario. You're wearing a really elegant suit, your hair is perfect and your facial expression reflects alertness and calmness of mind and spirit. Even if the managing director had called for a serious discussion, the above-mentioned factors mentally groom you up to face the situation calmly. If the feel-good factor in terms of your appearance, hair and other things around you are bothering you, it will definitely affect your self-esteem and put a lull in your confidence levels. There is a marked difference between the feel-good factor and the feel-bad factor. The scale must be a million miles apart, needless to say. You must make sure that you get that feel-good factor in your life. This feel-good factor has to come from within, of course. You can't help a bad hair day, but you sure can be cautious and might as well take care of it so you're not landed into a situation like that. It's up to you how to find this feel-good factor which will get you out of the bashful mode and put you right on the scene, right where all the action lies. We've had a look at the advantages of having a high self-esteem and pitfalls of having a low self-esteem. During the next couple of pages, we're going to tell you some techniques that will enable you to raise your level of self-esteem and increase your confidence. By the end of this topic, hopefully you should have a good idea of the things to work on and better perception of yourself. Raising your self-esteem. High self-esteem is often mistaken for being conceited and egotistic, which can be taken as negative traits. However, a reasonable level of self-esteem can be really good for a positive and impressive self-image. It is very essential to understand how people comprehend your self-image, so to start with, what we will see you think other people perceive you. In the space provided on the worksheets that have been downloaded, finish off the sentence below with 1 or 2 paragraphs. Be as honest as you can. Next, I'd like you to finish off this sentence with another couple of paragraphs. When a person sees or meets me for the first time, I would like them to think, fill in the blanks. What you have just done is to identify 2 critical areas. Firstly, how you think others perceive you, and secondly, how you would like others to perceive you. Now, if the 2 lists are exactly the same, you're at the stage whereby you are what you want to be like and that people perceive you exactly the way that you want. You must have an extremely high level of self-esteem, which is not necessarily the case with most people. However, if you see differences on the list, these are the areas that you must work with in order to raise your self-esteem. Write down the differences that you noted and a brief statement of how you can improve upon them. Once again, please refer to your worksheet. As you note down these differences, you will find that in some instances you might have to make significant improvements and in other minor. The major and the minor details are all both important. Another useful exercise to complement the one that you've just completed is to write down all of the characteristics of the ideal person that you would like to become. Write down the way he or she looks, how is their hair done up, the way they dress and present themselves, their mannerisms, their car, everything to do. Write that person and make sure that you do it in detail. After you completed the previous exercise, ask yourself this question. Do you prefer his or her life to your own? If you do, start to write down what you can do to close the gap. This exercise will enable you to connect with your desires and aspirations at the same time, giving you a realistic picture of your endeavours. It will ensure your development and growth as a person, and you will make sure that you can sustain your focus and that if you do lose track, it gets you right back on the correct path. Besides, what have you put in the list above? We want you to consider some other common areas for personal development and whether they comply with you or not. These might be some very generic areas, but they sure will give you in their own subtle ways. As we talked about the feel-good factor earlier, it's a very essential feeling to have to get you through the day. To enhance the factor, we suggest that you take every area of your appearance and analyse it. An image consultancy book might seem to be too generic, but they sure have some really good tips and can help you figure things like the types and shades of clothing that complement your face, the ways you can style your hair to enhance your facial features, the kind of glasses that would suit your face, etc. Image consultancy books come really handy as they can actually guide you to feel and look your best with all sorts of styles and grooming and wardrobe tips. You could even go one step further and have an actual image consultation. Another area that can enhance your self-esteem is your possessions. Start by making a list of the possessions that you would like to have and categorise it into the following 3 groups. 1. Those items that you could go out and purchase immediately, like a tie, cufflinks, shirt, makeup, etc. 2. Those items that would take a little saving up to get, like an expensive suit, a CD system, computer, iPad. 3. Those items that are for long-term savings projections, like a car, a house, a luxury holiday. Now, set out medium and long-term saving plans in order to acquire the items you've just jotted down in numbers 2 and 3 and above, and along the way make sure you treat yourself to at least about 2 items per month included in your number 1. The smaller possessions will make you feel good, and when a large possession is attained you will feel even better. By now you should have a good idea of what you would like to own and possess in order for you to feel good about your exterior image to the world. You might think you are perfect in all aspects, but remember, there's always room for improvement. Fall in love with yourself and pamper yourself silly, because you will be treated by the world the same way as you treat yourself. To make a positive impact on others, it is important to have a love affair with yourself. If you feel good about yourself, it's apparent to everyone that you meet. If you feel bad about your shape, your physique, clothes, grooming, manner or appearance, it will be much harder for you to remain confident and assured in social situations. Someone once said, "If you treat your friends like you treated yourself, would you have any?" You are your own best friend, because wherever you go, your best friend will be going with you too. And like with best friends, you should give them the best. The way we treat ourselves has a direct impact on how others will treat us. You'll be treated back the way you treat your friends, so it is at your discretion and it's up to you to adapt an approach and actually train your friends as to how they treat you. Become your own best friend and everyone else will treat you like theirs. We discussed it in an earlier topic, the importance of complimenting other people. It's also very important to put yourself in the position whereby you receive the compliments. Are you happy with the way that you dress? If not, then buy clothes that will make you feel good. Make other people compliment you on your appearance. It will make you feel good. Are the contents of your car, garage or house a mess? If so, tidy it up. If your car is full of papers, cans, grit and the like, what do you think this says about your style? Are you happy with your weight? If so, then fine, great. If not, then go on an exercise and healthy eating plan. Make people say, "Wow, you look great." The level of your self-esteem can either open new doors and opportunities for you, or could bail yourself with a lot of unwanted baggage. When it comes to those crucial moments in life when you face a perform or perish kind of situation, that 20-minute promotion presentation or that 10-minute chat to the MD, you should be at your best and feel at your best so that you can perform at your best when it really matters. No obstacle is too great. No mountain is too steep to climb. Your self-esteem can be improved by internal, your thoughts, and external, appearance and possession factors. To maximise your potential in life, you must analyse your self-esteem. Make sure that you're in the position whereby your mind and body are one. When you have achieved this, you will know, because you will never have felt anything like it. The power of a high self-esteem and the confidence to achieve almost anything. We have now come to the end of this course, The New You. Remember, if you wish to download the course in its entirety for the worksheets, to answer these questions, then please go to www.selinastone.com under the heading e-courses. Until next time, be lucky.